the one that makes fun of like the comedy ones.
Jesse Waters?
No, the comedy shows.
Oh, the Fox?
Not him.
But he makes fun of them essentially. Like that's what he is. Or Fox. Same concept.
Andy?
No.
He's not even
He's
around
another.
anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, Hannity's put down. All right, so let's jump into AFC South, guys. Let's jump into the AFC South, and we will go over the first place team, and that is Jacksonville. Can you show me the needs for Jacksonville, please?
Yeah, show me the needs.
All right, we got cornerback, defensive lineman, tackle, tight end, interior offensive lineman, safety, wide receiver. They just signed Calvin Ridley. So wide receiver, you could take right off the list.
They traded for him.
Ridley just applied for reinstatement today. Today was the first day that he could reapply.
Yeah.
Now that's news, and I missed it.
Yeah, so you can take Calvin Ridley. I mean, not Calvin. You can Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk.
Off.
You could take wide receiver off this list because they literally got 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Tight end, they still haven't signed Evan Ingram. So their tight end is a need, and they are going to lose Shaq Griffin at cornerback because they owe him like $18 million, I think it is.
So you think it's like an opt-out year?
It is an opt-out year.
They're losing Evan Ingram, Marvin Jones, Jawan Taylor.
And just being over cap, just being over cap, I think it's hard to re-sign Shaq.
I agree.
So
They're losing a lot.
They are losing a lot.
Their secondary needs help badly.
So I think when you go to the draft 25, 57, 89, I think first things first in this situation, I think they have to probably tight end. I think if you can
go tight end at 25?
If you can get a top 2 tight end there, either that or corner.
I mean, who are your top 2 tight ends? I have 2 names in my head that I like at tight end, top 2. Who are your top 2? Do you have 2?
No, I don't have them on me now.
I mean, I like the kid from Notre Dame, right? But
that's the one I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking earlier.
Is it Mayer? It's Michael Mayer.
Michael Mayer.
And then I like the kid out of Utah. I like Dalton Kincaid. I like Kincaid.
Oh, you've been talking about Kincaid.
You've been talking about Kincaid for a minute now.
I watched him in that game. My little lady bits were tickling.
You have lady bits?
I actually do have it.
Don't ask questions.
I mean, it's 2023. You never know nowadays.
You never know. Don't tell Sarah.
Could they trade for Waller if they don't sign Ingram?
Oh,
so
God, I want to
say Schoonmaker was one of the guys that I liked.
Hold on.
But he is so far down on your list, I guarantee it.
Schoonmaker, out of Michigan? Yeah, he's very far down on my list.
But that's one of the guys I like, and I think that's a guy you can get at like
late.
89 or 121.
89. Schoonmaker's going to be there.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of good tight ends coming in this draft.
He's going to be late.
Yeah.
He's going to be late.
Well, then you can get him late then.
I think so. I think for a tight end, for a guy that's going to be able to come in and just, even if you just need a good hands guy, right? You need a good guy that's just going to be reliable down low like Evan Ingram was this year for him. You can find
Which is shocking because Evan Ingram hasn't been reliable for anybody prior.
No,
other than his rookie year, and he has been relevant since.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy the way he, that entire team.
Do you feel like that's like
do you feel like
Doug Peterson? They have to sign him because of that?
Yeah, you have to. With Trevor Lawrence being as young as he is, you got to give him a safety valve, and it looks like Evan Ingram is his safety valve in the red zone. Because
I thought Marvin Jones was a safety valve because Marvin Jones stepped up when he needed to.
But
that's how I looked at Evan Ingram.
But I think Marvin Jones stepped up because he was the veteran wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean Marvin Jones is like 32. He's up there.
Gonna be 33.
That whole team. So I don't care who you are. Nobody expected them to be what they were this year at all.
Well, the problem is,
I did not either. Yeah,
so the problem is being over cap, right? That defense is still pretty good, and they're over cap.
But your secondary needs a lot of help.
Well, it does now.
That's what I'm saying. Your secondary needs a lot of help.
Yeah,
with who you're losing now.
So do you see anybody in free agent? Do you think it's a restructure for Shaq Griffin? I mean,
they have to do something with their cap in order to even really talk about that.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence isn't making anything.
Not yet.
Compared to everybody else. But he's still on his rookie deal.
I agree. But eventually that's going to be something crazy.
Yeah, and ETN's making a good amount. He's making, I think, the same amount of money as Trevor Lawrence. I think they're both making like $10 million.
That's crazy. That's insane to me.
Well, it's only insane because ETN's only had 1 year.
I mean, there's guys out there, but the problem is a lot of them are going to want money, cornerback-wise, secondary.
Yeah, but the problem with cornerbacks, if you get a guy that's
John, can you bring up their picks again?
If you get a guy that's like 27, 28 years old,
oof,
you can sign him for like 3 years or 2 years for like $15 million.
I mean, Isaiah Oliver out of Atlanta, you could do that with. He's only his evaluation is like $2.2 million.
Yeah, so you could probably get. I mean, they might even have depth. They might even have depth. So
you're not going to sign a top tier guy. You're going to sign a guy that's young, like you said, that you can get away with a couple of years. Maybe he pops, maybe he doesn't, and you just roll the dice.
Do you see a corner at 25 then?
I do,
Is that what you see?
Yeah.
Is there any guys you guys like?
So Gonzalez is going to be going at 25.
I
think
Oscar Gonzalez out of Oregon. He's
best
going to. I think he's gone by 18.
Available at 25. I could see them still continuing to add on the defensive line too. The defensive line for them is very good. But why not add, if there's another D lineman there that can do it?
Yeah, but I mean, do you see a defensive lineman that's going to be better than a corner in that spot? Because your defensive lineman, your tackles, your quarterbacks, your top wide receivers are going to be gone, right?
I mean, if you...
That's what we're assuming, right? At that spot.
Do you think they take Ringo? Do you think Ringo's there at 25?
I don't even know if Ringo will be
Cam
there.
Smith?
Yeah, Ringo will be there.
Cam Smith will probably be there.
Do you take a flyer on one of you guys?
Yes.
I mean,
not at 25.
If Cam Smith or Ringo are there at 25, I mean, yeah.
I mean, Gonzalez is probably my.
I don't know. I might
I
trade
like
up.
Gonzalez a lot coming out of Oregon.
I might trade up if I'm them.
You want to trade up for a corner? Okay, so if you're going to trade up, do you have a roughly idea where and for who?
I would trade up between.
I would try to
15
trade. I would see if I can get to 10.
Oof. And you want okay?
And you
so,
go after a corner at 10. Who would you go after at
Well,
10?
I would try to go if there was a DN there. I would try to go DN.
Okay. So Miles Murphy will be gone by 10.
Right, but
He's gone.
I'm just saying Philly's not going to ask for too much in that spot.
No, and Philly would be smart.
And Philly
to
needs a
trade down.
corner, right? and
Philly needs a
corner.
Yeah, Philly needs a corner. Philly needs. They're going to need a running back because Miles Sanders is a free agent. What else do you need to add? I mean, you can add a lot of pieces on that team.
Realistically, Philly can go like they'll get.
They're in a good position to trade
Yeah,
down.
they don't need to
because
draft.
nobody expected them to be in this position. We talked about that before.
What's the draft position? I know we didn't update KC and
Philly is now.
No.
Philly's
What's the
10, I think.
total draft?
Total.
All 32 picks, 31 picks.
In the first round? Oh.
Yeah, please. I know that we have the Philly and the whatchamacallit are.
Oh, I don't know what that was. That sucked.
It could be his headphone going close to the mic.
Apologize for that.
Oh no, we're good.
Okay, so yeah, I mean Philly's at 10, and they can trade out of that spot in my mind. There's also like if they really wanted to trade up like slightly, they can go to 18 to Detroit.
So that's about where I have Gonzalez going. Is 15 to 18.
Yeah.
In those spots. If I liked him a lot, obviously, that's who I like a lot, given it where they're drafting.
So you're gonna say there's gonna be two corners drafted? Like, do you think that there's gonna be two corners going before Gonzalez between 10 and 15?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a highly defensive
Yeah,
draft.
this is a highly defensive draft. If you look at the tackles, the guards, the centers.
In his mind, he only has two quarterbacks going in the top 10.
Yeah. That's personally what I think should happen because a lot of these guys, we'll talk about that obviously, but a lot of them I don't think have the juice to be top guys and impact day one. That's who you're taking first round. You're not taking a guy who's, we'll let him sit for a year.
I agree.
You're not going to take a Pat Mahomes-esque, which I'm not referencing any of these quarterbacks to Pat Mahomes at all. Kansas City was in a good position with where they were with Alex Smith that they could draft a quarterback that they knew they needed for the future that could sit for a year.
Yeah.
There's no team right now that needs a quarterback that's in that position because all the quarterbacks that need a quarterback or all the teams that need a quarterback need immediate help day one. And I only see two guys, if that. If Hendon Hooker was there, I would see three.
Nice.
Right. The injury is a big factor with Hendon
Hooker. Two guys?
Yeah. He's got Levis he's got Levis probably out of his top, or do you have it in your top?
No, I have Levis out. Bryce is weaning.
It all depends on combine. Their combine's going to have a huge.
Watching the tape,
I hate that combine makes up.
Good.
Yeah, I hate that combine makes up where you get drafted. I want to see what you do in college. I don't want to see what you do on.
I need game stuff.
A lot of that also has to do with coaching. It also has
to
to do with setup. So it depends on what the coaching scheme is. It also depends on.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're not coaching to a guy's ability, that could be a problem in itself.
No, but
so if you get a guy that's at the combine and he's showing up, he's putting numbers. I don't care about your vert. I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about guys that are connecting with receivers downfield that they've never met before. That matters to me at the combine, and the way they target on cuts. So when the receivers are running their drills, that's when I pay attention to the
pay attention to Bryce Young a lot because he cannot turn his body and make a throw accurately.
So
Bryce Young can't throw outside of the lane.
I just got news.
Yep, you got news.
That
breaking news. Put the breaking news up.
Breaking news.
Oh, Jesus, don't do that. Back there.
Jesus.
That,
I love it. Hello.
From a Houston Texans reporter, DJ Bieniemy, which is It sounds exactly like Eric Bieniemy.
Is that another Bieniemy?
No, it's spelled differently.
Oh.
That the
Fine,
Houston
I might.
Texans plan to use the number 2 overall pick on a quarterback.
That's so stupid.
So
Why?
here's the thing, right?
Why would you do
well,
that?
the Bieniemy thing. I don't know this dude,
The trend.
and I think based on what I remember when I've heard this dude talk, in like his tweets, his reports have always been bad. Like he's never accurate,
I wouldn't.
Well,
doubt
you
it.
remember.
unless it's Tom Brady. I think if that's who I
that
think
reminds me of
He's
San
a-
Francisco. They really liked Mac Jones coming out, and they took Trey Lance. There was a
And-
lot of rumors saying, "Oh, they're taking Mac Jones."
Well,
they're
and
taking
people
Mac
have to keep
Jones,
in
they're
mind
making
right
Mac
now,
Jones."
right? This
they're
is
trying to-
smoke screen season.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
smoke
Chicago
screen season.
did it with Mitch Trubisky.
Honestly,
Who wants
so
to trade up? Who wants to trade up? Who wants to
So
trade up?
you know what this does for
The
me?
Colts.
This tells me Chicago, if they want to trade out of one, all this does is fuel that fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because teams are going to be calling Chicago
Well,
like crazy
and
trying to get
Houston
ahead of
can
them.
be like, I want Jalen Carter, but I don't want Chicago to go for him.
Ooh.
I think
So somebody trade up because we already said we're taking a quarterback. Chicago trades out. Boom, we got our guy.
So let me ask you guys this real quick. We'll
Yeah,
just
that works
touch on
out.
this for a second. With the quarterbacks that are going to be drafted in the first round, 2 to 4, I think 2. Would you, if you're Houston, would you wait a year and get
I
maybe
do.
a Drake May, maybe a Caleb Williams next year?
I do, and based on D'Amico Ryans being a defensive guy,
Draft.
I think he's going to draft defensive.
That's what we both see eye to eye on that. I have no reason, rhyme or reason why they should
2-14
draft a
whatever
quarterback
they
at 2.
draft. Yeah, I
there's
agree.
there's too many good defensive guys that they need to fill a hole with on Houston, and you can go get a Jacoby
I have a
Brissett,
question. I have a question.
Baker
So since we're
Mayfield,
talking about the
maybe.
Texans, we're still in the AFC South.
Yeah, Jacoby. Oh,
What do we think about Derek Carr to Houston?
I like that, but the problem is he going to go there?
no.
Why
Because
wouldn't
what-
he? He's going with one of the best defensive coordinators, right?
The weapons.
He
You
is
can draft a weapon.
Not at.
Are you take a wide receiver at 2, or you're going
No.
to trade
Houston,
down?
they have 2 picks.
I know, but your next pick is what?
12?
Can you bring
the-
picks up real
you
quick?
think?
Yeah.
Who do you
It's
think?
2
will-
and 12. It's the Browns pick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I mean-
you have a pick at 1 or 2 and 12.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
Thanks, John.
And
Why
you-
wouldn't you go get go get a receiver? You have your running back.
Yeah,
He's
but
already
Da-
said he
David
wants to
Pierce.
get the ball in playmakers'
Honestly,
hands.
you could probably wait. You could probably wait until the second round to grab a receiver.
But let's just say he takes this team, he goes and gets a guy like Derek Carr. Derek Carr gets to stay in warm weather,
in a dome?
Right? In
You'd
a
be
dome.
smart to play in a dome.
and then on top of that, he's got a guy who finally he'll have a defense. Finally.
I mean-
the Raiders have never had a defense. They've had good defensive ends. They've never had a defense.
Their defense
Derek
from
Carr is. Did you know Derek Carr's stats? He is the best franchise quarterback to ever play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Ever.
he has the most fourth quarter comebacks. too.
Most points, most
out of
yards
anybody in
for-
the league, including actively since he came in the league. That's including Tom Brady.
So why wouldn't you go play for
Since
a
he
team
came in the league.
that you know?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you go play for a team that you know isn't going to give up 35 points a game?
Yeah.
I don't,
I'm not sure what that squeaking is. I'm sorry, guys.
It's one of the mics getting too close to the
yeah,
headphones.
it's
It's all right.
It's all right. Sorry about that.
But that's what I'm thinking with Derek Carr is that no one's talking about him to Houston.
No, it's
No,
Carolina, the Saints. I said the Jets for a while. I
Are we
think he
jumping
works with
straight
the
to
Jets.
Houston? Are we talking?
Yeah,
Houston?
talk to Houston. I mean,
All right, so
we
right
already
now-
said that.
right now
we already said
Houston-
Jacksonville couldn't do too much
No,
outside of figuring out
you-
cap first and then
The,
moving
the-
on.
most of their, I think most of the filling the voids is going to be the draft. Obviously, I mean,
think
they
too.
don't have much money to throw around unless you're going to get tier 2, tier 3 guys maybe to fill some of those slots
What?
and see if they work out.
What Jimmy said.
That's all right. So
Oh,
go ahead and
shit, that's funny. Anyway, no. So Texans right now have $37 million in cap space. That's as of 2 days ago.
I don't disagree, by the way. The Texans front office has ruined a lot of people.
That's very
And that's
true.
a lot of quarterbacks are afraid to go there, let alone veteran.
So John, here let me correct that a little bit. Yes, they need a bunch of needs, right? They have a bunch of needs.
Houston?
Yes. Is it depending on how you want to build, right? So
Well, they have offensive line. They
Nah,
have corners. They
kind of.
drafted offensive line the last 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but they're still not the best.
No, their quarterback's not the best. Sorry, I had to reset the mixer. Not sure why that happened.
We're crossing streams over here. Our apologies.
All right, go ahead with your Houston take. I apologize.
Houston, the Texans. So their center last year, at least, what? Oh nope, mic's gone.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't hear Steven Mike.
All right. Anyway, so I'm going to talk into this here for a second. So Houston last year, right? So yes, their offensive line, they've been drafting it, right? Last year, their center, according to PFF, worst graded center in the NFL. and he's a free agent. I do not see him coming back. Doesn't make sense to me. OJ Howard. I mean, these are the key offensive free agents. Why Quisenberry is key? I don't know. Whatever. It just sounded fun to talk about because he's bad. So I only have OJ Howard being the other key offensive free agent. I think everybody else going is just kind of whatever. And I say OJ Howard because with his athleticism, he can be great. He can really actually be something special. He's just been super injury prone since he's been in the NFL. I think you can get him on a real good team friendly deal. I don't think anybody's going to pay him. And if he stays healthy, you have something that you can build on, right? Something you can bring in. Apparently, a rookie quarterback, according to our latest report,
quote unquote, allegedly.
Allegedly,
Yeah, I don't.
Which I think is stupid, right?
That's
He's a local
smoke and mirrors.
reporter for ESPN.
Okay, so that's just trash.
I mean, how much are you going to really trust? They're not going to tell
I haven't
ESPN what they're
trusted
doing.
Disney for 4 years.
I'm not going to tell one of the biggest sports. I can't think of the words.
Sports ball?
Sports. One of the biggest sports enterprises. What I'm going to do with my second round or my second pick overall.
Oh no, they're gonna chirp it.
No,
Yeah,
they're
I think
trading.
so.
If anything, I think they trade down to get more assets on defense.
Oh, if they're smart, they trade them.
If the Texans are smart, they do.
Ooh, if they're smart,
I think they trade with the Colts.
Who else has?
no, you don't trade
who
with the
else-
Colts because you know Arizona's not going for a quarterback, unless you think someone's
Allegedly.
trading.
But I don't know. There's one person here that thinks they are.
They're not, especially with who they have a head coach now.
No,
They're not.
I saw a video of him and Kyler Murray, the coach, and Kyler Murray meeting up, and they look like they are.
Look what that team. He knows the team that he came from, right? And I get that he was a
You're
defensive
saying
coordinator.
they're going to build it around what they did with Jalen Hurts, aren't you?
Correct.
Can you see
Which
the,
which is going to be a smart footprint to build off of
can you
because
see
it's
the
worked so
Lions
far.
moving up? Can you see
but
the Lions moving up to 2?
I don't think Jalen Hurts is. I don't think Kyler Murray is
So-
Jalen Hurts.
But what would they move up
Here's the
for?
thing, right? Here's
Another
the thing.
defensive pick.
Well, here's the thing.
A top defensive
A lot
player.
of things going on right now is smoke screens because
yeah.
if everybody stays where they are, everybody gets their guy.
Jalen Carter and Aiden Hutchinson.
But even if Chicago stays where they are, right, they get Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. If Houston stays where they get Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, or their quarterback,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If Arizona stays where they are, they get the other defensive guy, or that's the only team I could see trading out to get more picks. So
Carolina,
then I would see Carolina
That's just-
trading in front of the Colts
Yep.
to get the quarterback they want, which is the only reason the Colts would trade to one.
Anthony Richardson.
I think the Colts.
If they're going for Anthony Richardson, they already know the Colts.
Listen, I'm playing.
He's
Oh yeah, see, look at him. Look at him. He.
I'm just saying they already
Put
know.
the camera on wheels. Put him on him. Put him on him real quick. Look at him. Look at the pain.
Well, we all know
Look
where
at-
Anthony Richardson's going.
Anthony
Look at the
Richardson-
pain.
So, but I
Anthony
mean,
Richardson is not a good. He's gonna get drafted
So,
because of his. Feet.
don't-
He is terrible downfield.
He is
keep
full
in
on
mind,
reckless.
right? Keep in mind that D'Amico Ryans hired Bobby Slowick, which was the quarterback coach out of the Chargers. So, what does that mean? Does that mean he thinks he can see what he can do with Davis Mills?
Why
No,
not?
just
You
that they're-
what
I mean, I
what
don't
do you
know.
have to lose? You're in a division who has essentially
And
one
you're a
good
first-year
team.
head coach.
Yeah, exactly. This is what me
That
and
is
me and
that
Johnny were
played
saying.
for that franchise.
Yeah.
That retired a Texan. If I'm.
I mean, look
right.
at some of the teams that
He's gonna
popped
have a lot of
off
leeway.
with-
It's like it's similar to
played
Joe
for like
Thomas
5
being a
years.
coach for us, right? That's how the Texans kind of see this dude because the
Do-
Texans have.
Do you think
absolute-
Davis Mill wants to stay there though after they did what they did to him this season?
What did they do to him?
They sat him for 3 weeks because
You
they-
got to see what you have in a
with
guy that
Kyle
they drafted.
Allen, I
though.
think.
I mean, he's not a free agent, so
You got to see what you got with the guys you drafted, though.
I mean,
you're already losing.
Davis
right?
Mills is. Taylor Heineke is obviously better than Davis Mills, but I want to call it
I agree.
Taylor Heineke-esque, where you can kind of roll the dice with some of your picks. You're not. I don't think you'd take a guy in. I don't think you'd take a quarterback at your second
No,
overall
I
or
don't
your
think so.
12.
I don't think
who
this
I'd
year.
love to
I don't
go-
think this year.
You know what? You know who I'd love to go there is Hooker. Would you risk a third round pick?
Ooh, Yes.
Second? Well, their second's 35. So can you bring up their picks again, Johnny? Whenever you get a chance.
Sorry, John. We know what you're doing. Sorry.
Houston's?
Yeah,
Yes,
Houston, please.
I'm sorry.
So I mean,
30. You got 2, 12, 34,
Hooker might be there at
66.
66.
because he's coming off a knee.
Yeah.
He might. I'm doing that.
I would.
All day.
Why not? Why wouldn't you? I mean,
All day.
at third round, you can get a guy who. I mean,
Yes,
He's my number
is he,
two.
Is he
If
old?
he's-
You could
Sure.
also
So you have Stroud and Hooker.
Yeah,
love
Stroud and
that.
Hooker.
You could
Yeah,
also
love
trade
that.
out of that 12 spot and then trade back up into the first round and get 2 late first round picks.
Yeah, or trade your 34th, and you can trade with something up and
There's
get
a
back
lot you
up.
can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so
Houston's
could
in a
have 3
comfortable spot.
first-round
Yeah,
picks,
Houston's
yeah.
in a comfortable spot right now. There's a lot of guys that they can put where they're drafting and get a couple that they're falling in love with.
Gee, I think people look past the age, right? If it wasn't for the knee.
I was just
If he
gonna
didn't
say
have the knee
injury.
this year, I think he's a top 5 pick. I think he really genuinely.
He's still.
People don't look past the age of quarterback though. When you're drafting a guy at 25,
I
coming out as
listen. I
quarterback-
agree,
I mean,
and I
the
think
Baker,
he's
the
raw in the
Browns
run
had no
game.
issue with it.
Well,
Baker wasn't 25. He was 23.
was he?
He was 24, I thought, when we drafted him.
What I'm saying with Hooker is
Still not 25.
I like Hooker. His deep ball is disgusting.
Still not 25.
Baker.
Yeah.
Baker's 25 right now.
No, I'm just saying it's still not 25.
See now you look what you did.
Well, he's looking up his draft age of Baker.
That's all I'm doing.
That's all right.
I'm not. no, yeah.
you got him in all caps and everything.
Well,
anyway.
let's get out of Houston though, because I just had a question about the Derek Carr thing in there.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
I'm not sure if that's a great landing spot, because this whole division is this whole division not an availability for Derek Carr? Like Indianapolis Colts, Derek Carr,
Yeah. I think
Tennessee Titans,
Ooh.
Derek Carr.
Colts. Do you want which one do you want to talk about?
Jacksonville.
Which one do you want?
Well,
to
let's go. Let's talk about Colts, because Shane Steichen's now the new head coach, who was the OC for Philly, and then
So
they
do
might be
you
looking
see-
at a new quarterback.
Do you see the Colts are going to draft a guy that's mobile like Hurts?
CJ Stroud.
He's not. He is not Hurts.
He
mobile.
fits that system, though.
He
With those two wide receivers, he
okay,
fits that system.
So I do like
Alex
that.
Pierce.
I do like Stroud to the Colts. That makes sense. Stroud is not
mean,
a run first
People
quarterback.
are saying
He is
Will
a pocket-
Levis.
I could see Will Levis because
But
he's a
Will
pocket
Levis isn't
passer.
going 4. If Will Levis goes 4, I'm just done watching on football.
I'm
in
done
general.
watching
We're
Colts.
going to be here, guys. We're going to
You
be
know
here
what?
live for the
Here's
draft.
the
so
thing,
it's going to be
right?
rough.
Here's the
as
thing,
we're
right?
all freaking
If
out.
the Colts go quarterback at 4 with Will Levis, why not just go get a veteran?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you've already burnt yourself with Carson Wentz. You've already burnt yourself with Phillip Rivers.
Because
you already
it's
burnt
what
yourself with Matt
it's,
Ryan.
it's what the
At
Colts
this point,
do,
why not just go
KJ.
get Derek? Then,
It's what they do.
then if that's what they do, why not Derek Carr?
yeah,
Because I don't think Derek Carr goes there. I think Derek Carr goes to the Jets.
I think
And
if
they have
Derek-
weapons there.
If Derek
Ah,
Carr
yeah,
goes,
Derek could. So out of the teams that everybody's mentioning, Saints, Colts, Carolina, the Texans we were talking about, possibly.
I'm just throwing those out there
I
because those
think
are teams that need quarterbacks, and they can afford them.
the Jets and the Colts are the two best, in my opinion, options for Derek Carr.
Well, the
With-
Saints with Michael Thomas and Chris Olave.
Michael Thomas is.
Yeah,
to me,
that's true.
non-conversation
You
right
have
now.
nobody in that division to go. You really have nobody in that
Literally
division.
the worst
you'll Rule,
division.
yeah, you'll rule that division.
Yep.
Every team in that division needs a quarterback, essentially. I mean, besides maybe Atlanta with Desmond Ritter, you're going to see what you have with him currently.
Yeah, we'll know halfway through the season if
But-
Atlanta needs a quarterback.
But go ahead, Steve. You were going to say something about the Colts. Don't say it.
If you're what? Well,
Do you move on from Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, no.
That's what he was going to
No,
say.
No, he had it. No, I wasn't actually. I was going to say, does Derek Carr, if he goes to Indianapolis, does he just buy a plot in the cemetery? Because that's where his career is going to die, just like the last 3 guys
I
before
disagree.
him.
I disagree.
I
think-
love Derek
I think
Carr
when you
and the
look-
personality, and I do.
He's
I genuinely
overhated
like
for
Here's the
no
thing.
reason.
I think when
he
you
wears
look-
eyeshadow. It's okay.
He's Metro. It's fine.
No, God.
He's metrosexual.
Is that
That's
what
what
he
it
is?
is. Yeah, so it's someone who overly takes care of their self. Like, he does his nails, he does his eyes. He's
I mean,
Metro.
Tom Brady did that
I was
too.
just gonna say,
Tom doesn't anymore. You just made me defend Tom Brady.
hey, he's single,
right,
ready to mingle.
So what you were
Is he
saying,
really?
right? What you were saying, right?
That-
Carson Wentz was coming off an injury, and they assumed because they got the OC as the head coach that they would be doing something good. They also had Phillip Rivers at 40,
Yeah.
38, 40.
I think he was
And then they did the
39.
same thing with Matt Ryan. They got him at an old age. And by the way, Matt Ryan still threw for almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah, Matt Ryan had actually.
I
a
didn't
good
realize
year.
how good of a
2,000
year he
yards,
had.
yeah.
until
And he got
brought it up
benched
to
how
me.
many games? So like realistically,
Four.
Matt Ryan had a
Yeah, Sam Ellinger.
Yeah. The
El-
problem was
Ellinger.
they couldn't do
Ellinger.
anything in the red zone. And the question is why?
They have the weapons. Have they hired a head coach yet?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah,
Like,
sorry. Yes,
shit.
sorry. We just talked about that. Sorry. It's been a long day, boys. I'm sorry.
Sorry, boys.
It's all right.
So-
Anyway, so I,
Um,
as of right now, right, the Colts got $5.8 million in cap. As of right now,
Yeah,
if
they're-
they cut Matt Ryan, if they cut Stephon Gilmore, and if they cut Grove Stewart, That moves the cap from 5 to 43.6 million.
Yeah, but the Matt Ryan, they still owe him money.
Listen, they'll pay him. He's going to get paid either way.
I think it's like,
You
I think
might
it's
as-
like $13 million if they cut him.
I agree.
It's a lot of money.
You still need room. You still need to do stuff.
Why not keep him as a backup?
Is
You're
he?
already
Do you
paying.
want him there? You might as well start him again and pick in the top 5 again next
Then
year.
you might as well just take Will Levis, like he
Yeah.
was saying.
You might as well take Will
Essentially,
Levis,
That's what you're. I mean,
or you go get
Might not be
a
a bad
lesser
idea.
rookie,
Might not be a bad idea.
Baker on a prove-it deal, a Jacoby Brissett
No,
again.
I'm gonna continue
hey,
with Matt
Jacoby.
Ryan over Baker.
Big-
So
Baker's
Jacoby with when the
Jacoby
go on.
needs a little more respect than what he.
no.
than what
So
he's
yeah,
got.
that's what I was about to
It's
go
not
to.
the same. It's not the same
Yeah, but the
system.
Jacoby was 8-8 I believe his entire time when he was with the Colts. It was at least 500.
Yeah, I
don't
you're
know,
right.
but I think you're
right.
probably close.
Jacoby
right.
doesn't. Yeah, like you said, Steve, he doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Well, it's the thing is he's a backup and he's a very good backup.
I don't think he's a backup.
He's a backup.
Who did these team needs? Was this you?
He
KJ?
can't throw 25 yards downfield. He's a backup.
They do need a tackle. Do you think they take?
I mean, I could
tackle
say
at 4?
somebody else doesn't throw 25 yards downfield, but that will get into another conversation.
That
I'm
is
just gonna hold
right.
my tongue.
Why do you think? Oh my God! Why do you think Paris Campbell had a
So-
decent year?
so
he couldn't
through-
throw downfield.
Through the how many games did Jacoby play?
Jacoby was 21 and
Cleveland?
25 with Colts.
Okay, and then
Cleveland?
you
21
want to
and
look
25?
up Tyler's stats real quick for me.
No,
The games
Kyler
he
Murray.
played.
We're not gonna go to Kyler. We're not even on that
This
division.
guy
We're not
has
even in the
been
division.
he's been doing this for
That's
months.
fine.
He's wanted this comparison.
He needs to
He
understand
wanted
Kyler
it so
Murray.
bad.
Kyler Murray's being paid $25 million. Deal with it. He's
I
stuck
hate
there.
it.
All right. He's not
And
going anywhere.
Jacoby
Trade
played
him.
as well as Kyler Murray did this year. So
He
that's
played better than Kyler Murray. He probably had a better win rate than Kyler Murray.
did.
And he probably had a better QBR than Kyler Murray.
I think
I
he
don't
did.
disagree.
Message
Kyler
trash.
Murray is garbage.
It doesn't mean
He is
that you
garbage.
already paid Kyler for 5 years.
Yeah, you messed
He's
up.
stuck there.
Arizona.
Good job,
is,
Kime.
25,
Arizona's-
31, and 1.
Oof.
All right, so let's move on to Tennessee.
Oof.
This is another team. Like, what's going on in this team, guys? Tackle, wide receiver, edge, offensive lineman, tight end, cornerback, and linebackers.
Well, Taylor
You could put
Lewan's.
quarterback if
Yeah.
Tannehill.
So this is
Well,
what
I
you
think
do
they
if
still
you're the
owe,
Texans.
I still think they owe Tannehill 1 more year.
Well, they probably, but you want to hear something crazy? So I went on Spotrac and I did some. this is where I got my numbers. Right now they're negative 28 million.
Yeah,
Right, that's
they're in
not
the
bucks,
whole,
that's 28.
a whole lot.
So you have to cut, right? You're
Well,
not.
you can restructure, but yes, go ahead.
I mean, you're not going to restructure Tana, in my opinion. You're going to cut Tannehill, Taylor Lewan, and Bud Dupree. And you're only going to go to 13.8 in cap. Positive, granted. But that's all. That's where you are.
Bud Dupree. That's big for them.
It hurts, right? It hurts big. However, what else are you going to do? You have to try and retool your
What's
guys.
the best linebacker at 11?
I don't think they take a linebacker at 11. Honestly, I think you take.
I think you take wide receiver.
You take the best edge rusher.
Take Skoronski.
Oh,
Skronsky's a guard,
No,
so he's not a tackle in my opinion.
Are we gonna do this?
Well,
Are
Steve,
we
They
doing
need
this
both.
right now?
They need both.
Steven, hold
right?
on. Would you keep Bud Dupree or Harold Landry? Because Harold Landry's cap is only $1 million less.
Yeah, but his dead cap's like 30 million, isn't it?
Harold Landry. I think
Yeah,
Landry's.
Harold's is 30 mil dead, and then Dupree's is almost 11.
Oh yeah, there ain't no way.
Yeah, you're keeping Landry.
Yeah, there ain't no way. I think I went the way I did when I did this initially. I don't remember, but I think the opt outs were 2024. So like they're 1 year out or they're
Yeah, they got
so
they got
they're
Austin
on.
Hooper, but he's a free agent.
Austin Hooper can lick
Still
asshole.
getting paid by the Browns.
Austin Hooper.
Well, they're definitely good. This is the type of draft where they're going to try to find a tight end in the late rounds.
Which you can.
I think you should,
There's,
and you're
there's
gonna-
depth there. There's like we said. There's
if
at
you're
least
the
7, 8
Titans,
guys.
bring up their needs one more time. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep doing that. You can draft a good tackle at 11. A really, really, really good tackle at 11. If that's what you want to go with, I think they're going to go defensive because that's Vrabel. That's what he is. That's what their defense. That's what their team has been. It's been defense. And
See, here's
Well,
the thing, right?
Look
We-
at
we
the
have
other
this-
teams in their division that you're going up against. You need to build up that defense.
you have to
Yeah.
Well,
because you
also,
need to compete with Trevor Lawrence.
That's
for the
what
next
that is, yeah.
20
That's what I
years.
was comping to. Yeah.
Well, you also got to keep in mind, right? If you're going to go defensive with a defensive coach, we had this conversation the other day.
Yep.
He can coach defense.
Yeah.
You don't have to
This has
draft
been
defense that high.
this has been Bo's argument with the Bears
Right.
for
Yeah,
a
but
year.
if the talent's there, why not take it?
Da Bears.
Well, I definitely think this is a situation if you're not
Jimmy,
trading
I
up or
agree.
trading out. It's
You take
BPA,
best available. Yeah.
BPA.
Okay.
Especially because if let's just say Skoronski is there, and I know you say that he's not a tackle, he's a guard, and that's fine.
He is a guard.
But if he's there,
No.
that locks down the guard position for you.
Honestly, I
He's
would,
an
I would, I would
A1
take,
starter.
I would take Voorhees over
Is it
Skoronsky.
really? So,
Oh,
like it, my boy,
that tickled your
then.
fancy.
You like my boy.
I would take Voorhees over,
But I
over
told you,
Skoronsky.
everybody's hating on Voorhees.
And that's fine, but Voorhees is predicted later. You
Yeah.
can get him later.
Yeah.
You can
Trust
trade
me.
back
Yeah.
up into the first if you really wanted Voorhees.
Like, honestly, the two guards that, I mean, so let's consider Skoronsky a guard and Torrance. I like him, but I'm not taking him in the top
Take Cyrus.
11. I don't
I'm
know,
not taking
man.
Cyrus
I
at
don't.
11.
He does.
I wasn't
He
big on
doesn't
Cyrus.
look comfortable.
No.
All right. But I'm just saying, so like,
Oh,
they're-
that's a good way to put that.
He does not look comfortable at guard. He looks like I don't want to say he's lost, but he just
He's got so much. It's you know how Baker got happy
Well,
feet in the pocket.
yeah he
He gets
he's-
happy feet,
and he
It
tries
look-
to move around too much, and he gets
needs
himself
lot of
into a
space.
hole.
I think he may be right tackle.
so based on what you're
I'd have to look at his
based
arm
on
length
what
again,
you're
but
saying is they don't have the cap space. So this is why I don't see Derek Carr going there.
No.
Because Derek Carr is going to want a 4 or 5 year contract, and he's going to want some money.
do you see
He
a
just
veteran
gave up
going?
40 million. Name a veteran going there? Probably not. That's why I think they're stuck with Tannehill for 1 more year. What are you going to do? Go get Carson Wentz? Go get Baker Mayfield? You're going to try to get younger but the same?
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh,
Jacoby's
man.
staying in Cleveland because his best abilities were in Cleveland.
I think they're going to have to pay him a little bit more though.
I honestly could see Baker just because he's used to having a run-first offense
And getting shit
with
on.
Cleveland, but
How much are you going to charge Derrick Henry though? What is he?
Yeah.
30?
29 this year.
He's
29,
29.
okay.
He's going to have another 300 plus carry season.
Speaking of a guy who's just gotten the absolute piss beaten out of him, I mean that guy, he's holding up.
This dude's been hitting the
No,
kidney so
Derrick
much
Henry.
he
Yeah,
just
the only
pisses blood on a
injury he's
regular
had, the only
basis.
injury he's had is a broken foot. That's
No.
a fluke injury. That's not a tendon injury. That's not a
No,
knee injury.
no soft tissue injuries.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he's
but
good
look-
for at least 2
And
more
what
years.
what surface do they play on?
Grass. Tennessee plays
What
on
a
grass.
Well,
surprise.
they don't play on that Arizona grass.
Well, hold on. No. Wasn't there
because of
meme-
Rihanna.
Wasn't there a meme that said that Nissan Stadium's going to go to turf? Goodbye, Derrick Henry's career.
yeah,
Yeah.
They did say
So,
that.
so they did. Yeah, they did come out and say they're going
But-
to
They're
turf.
going to turf next year.
So the Broncos did this last game of the year. They redid the entire grass field for one game. If the Broncos can do that for one game, the NFL can do that for every single stadium.
Oh, I don't.
But the owners don't want to because it's
you know
money
much,
out of their
Yeah,
pocket.
so you know how much sod cost? It's expensive.
Yeah, but
I know. I
it's not expensive
laid
as
in the
turf.
back of my mom's
Oh,
yard
sod.
when I was rebuilding.
But
Oh,
I'm
like,
saying
oh,
sod.
resodding?
Yeah, when you
Oh, wow.
resod, that's what they did. Is they
I mean,
resodded. You can't just
could-
grow grass in a day.
No,
They
No, I mean,
resodded.
but-
So they
That's
went
fair.
to like Home Depot and bought pallets of grass.
it worked for him though.
So the only injuries that Derrick Henry has had in his career was 2021. He had his foot fracture.
Yep.
December 2019, he had a grade 2 hamstring strain, a thigh hamstring strain.
He still put up 2,000 yards that season.
Jesus Christ.
November 2016, he had a
hammy pull.
leg calf strain, and April 2013, he had a leg fibula fracture.
So it's bone and
We're
hamstring
gonna have to
injuries.
continue. We just got to get it going.
Yeah, we got to get going.
Bye.